Good morning. Good morning, friends. Good. No worries. It feels like spring in March. Woohoo. So good. Hey, welcome to Unity of Fort Collins, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I want everyone to turn around and look at the art wall. This is Dolly Halverson's Turn Around and Ooh and Ah. Isn't that awesome? Dolly, would you stand up, please? Stand up just so we can acknowledge. That's Dolly's work. Thank you, Dolly. So one of my favorite things about Unity is the community of artists. So we never know what's going to show up on the art wall. Actually, we do know a couple of months in advance. But it's so lovely to see the talents of our artists. So do we have any folks here who are here for their first time that would like a welcome packet plunked in their hand? Anybody need a welcome packet? New folks. Glad to see you here. Welcome to our folks online. One of the things that we tracked last week at our annual meeting is that we typically have about 80 people who track us online. So however many people you see here, that community that's here is doubled with who's out there online. So welcome to our online folks. Our speaker today is our own Courtney Fuchs. Courtney is brilliant and talented. She's also an author, so her book is in the bookstore. But Courtney's one of those people that the more you know, the more there is to see. So wonderful depth, good human beings. So we're so lucky to have you. Our reader today is Jenny Hout, and our musician is our own Elise Wonder, who just won an award. What's that? I gave you one. I thought you did, but let's talk. Oh, she was on the radio, but famous. So famous. Yes. Our prayer chaplain today is Barbara Weimer. And Barbara did a talk here recently, and we saw the spunky side of Barbara. So, that's so cool. There's a prayer chaplain meeting this afternoon at 11:15. There's also a love in action that I'll have. So it looks like I'm moving into the territory where people are coming up. So come up, Courtney.
On another hat just for a second. So most of you, I hope, know about our community partners. We have King Soopers, Safeway, and bookshop.org that all share portions of whatever you purchase with them with us. So Safeway and King Soopers, it's 5%, bookshop.org, it's 30%. And so we're understanding that some people have a little trouble getting like their King Soopers card connected to Unity, or just navigating bookshop.org. And so, Denise Johnson and I next week will be under the treehouse with our laptops before and after service. And we will just help you do it. Come up, we'll get your card linked. We also have the Safeway cards, which those are probably the easiest to conceive of anyway. They're like gift cards. You take them to Safeway, you put your money on it, you use them to buy your groceries. They're already linked to Unity, so that's real straightforward. But the other ones, sometimes people just need a little help, so we're going to be there to help you with that. So come by and see us next week before or after service. There's something else I want to say. I don't know what it was. Anyway, thank you.
Good morning. I just walked in here and started smiling. Does that happen to you guys? Like, whoa. We are actually going to meet today. We're so excited to get this work and action going, and we're meeting in the friendship room. And if you didn't sign up and you feel like, hey, I might want to check it out, we are going to really build this team with each person who's there, what's important to them, what causes are important, what experience they have, what uniqueness they have to give. So if you feel like coming, we'd love to have you. Friendship room.
Well, good morning to all of you. Hey, I'm going to follow up on Anisha's announcement. There's an organization in this community called the Interfaith Council, made up of representatives from many of the churches. They meet once a month, and the upcoming meeting is next Thursday morning at 9 o'clock at the First United Methodist Church on Stover. I'm going to be there, and I know 2 or 3 of you are going to be there, but I think it's time that we find out about the wider community of faith organizations and perhaps get involved and assist them, help them, be involved with them, and so forth. So you're invited to do that next Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. Yeah, this Thursday. Is that the same as next Thursday? I don't know. This Thursday or next Thursday, whatever. Whatever you think. So I wanted to also recognize there's about 20 of you that have been attending a class on Thursdays. It's the Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, which is connected with Unity Seminary in Missouri. And about 6 or 7 of you are doing it for credit. It will eventually lead to being a licensed Unity teacher or a Unity minister. Don't make that something you're afraid of, but a new class is about to begin. It's called the Unity Movement. This is the book. Unity Movement, its evolution and spiritual teachings. So if you've been attending our Thursday classes at 1 o'clock or 6:30, you can continue with that starting the 13th. Or if you've not been, see me and I'll give you an enrollment form for the seminary and we'll have a good time. I know we've been having a good time over these past weeks, so thank you.
The class is fabulous, Jim and Sharon, so good. Tight. Okay, sounds good. There's a table full of books in the library that you can peruse for a love offering or to just get it off the table. So help yourself to whatever is in the library, not on the shelves, but on the table. Just go poke around and see what you like. A Course in Miracles has added a second meeting time on Mondays from 5 to 6:30. So Kathy Malloy, raise your hand there. If you're interested, John Magny and Kathy Malloy do the Course in Miracles group. Thank you, friends. Hawkins Study Group meets Tuesday afternoons at 1:30. Courtney in the Myrtle Room. So Courtney has quite a team of folks that are studying David Hawkins. So the Interfaith Councils, one of the beautiful things about people who have a long history of caring about social issues is it's possible there are committees that already exist to help with issues that we care about. So we can join up where it feels good, and we can take what we like and leave the rest. So I love the freedom, but sometimes if somebody's already doing something, it helps to join forces rather than to make things up. Summer camp with Polestar Gardens is in June. Kids ages 5 to 12 can join during the weeks of June 16th and the 23rd. So if you haven't witnessed Nancy's magic with kids, she's magic. So if you know any kids, they will have the time of their life doing fun things and learning life's meaningful lessons. One last thing, movie night is this coming Friday. No, the 14th, the next Friday. The next Friday, the 14th. And the movie is called About Time. And apparently it's Tamara Parnig's favorite movie. So she recommended it. So if you think Tamara has good taste, come. And the next Women Together meeting, so about 30 women showed up for the lunch yesterday and had a lovely time. We're going to do this quarterly, so the next one is June 28th. So awesome team, awesome unity team. Let's take a big old deep breath. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I want to know what award you thought I won, Anne, because I'm just going to go ahead and manifest that. I want to thank everybody. What was it?
I think it's Rising Fort Collins Star.
Oh, okay. I like it. Rising Fort Collins Star. Yes. I shall be the morning star. Thanks to everybody who tuned in to my Live at Lunch on KRFC. We had our airing on Friday, this past Friday. And it was at one point a next Friday, but so it's actually still on YouTube if you want to watch it. I'm actually pretty pleased with how it turned out, and my band is awesome, and so you can go to KRFC YouTube Live at Lunch and watch the whole shebang. So, and I'm feeling better. Thanks for everybody who's been asking, and I still kind of have some residuals, and my voice isn't the happiest, but that's why I'm singing low range songs today. I kind of like the quality, a little bit of gravel. I'm like, maybe I can do this more. Also, thank you so much, John, for stepping in and taking over for me last week and being gracious enough to swap me. And they also had an awesome gig at Washington's opening for Rebirth Brass Band Grocery Store. They were great. So that was really exciting. Great job, John. So. Okay. This is a song that Johnny Cash sings. It's in the movie Kill Bill, which I don't think will ever be a featured movie night here at Unity. But it is one of my favorite movies. Okay. How many times have you heard someone say, if I had his money, I could do things my way? But little they know that it's so hard to find one rich man in 10 with a satisfied mind. Once I was winning, and and fortune and fame. Anything you could ask for to get ahead in life's game. And suddenly it happened, I lost every dime. But I'm richer by far, with a satisfied mind. Money can't buy back your youth when you're old, your friends when you're lonesome, and a love that's grown cold. The wealthiest person is a pauper at times, compared to the man with a satisfied mind. When life has ended and my time has run out, my friends and my loved ones will leave, there's no doubt. But one thing's for certain, when it comes my time, I'll leave this old world with a satisfied mind. How many times have you heard someone say, if I had his money, I could do things my way? But little they know that it's so hard to find one rich man in 10 with a satisfied mind. And now a reading from Ginny.
Morning, friends. I have a couple quotes and a short poem to read on gratitude. First quote is from Myrtle Fillmore, Mother of Unity. Heaven and earth listen and respond to the soul that is quickened into praise and thanksgiving. Praise is gratitude in action. This is a quote by Eckhart Tolle. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation of all abundance. And this is a short poem, and the author, Kalila Volkov. When gratitude flows through your heart, it reflects the love of which you're a part. Your soul then glows with the grace that it knows. Witnessing the present becomes an art. Holding praise in mind, you behold God's gifts sublime. Being alive at the moment and not letting worries foment, your thankfulness helps all others, lighting little lamps of joy for one and another.
You all know this one. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom to me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright, precious day, dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All the colors colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, gotta put another hat on for a second. Take this out of the way. Turn this on so I'm all set. Good morning, everybody. Oh, thanks, Elise. Those were great songs, and your voice sounds great to me. I don't know. You should get sick more often, apparently. And thanks, Ginny. Those quotes and poem were just perfect. I really appreciate that, too. So today my talk is on gratitude and how powerful a tool it can be in our life for spiritual growth, health, happiness, and peace. Keeping a gratitude list is a very good start, but it's when we use gratitude consistently all through the day that it has a truly transformative effect and becomes our way of being in the world. I call this a gratitude immersion, and I'll share the practice I used and how it really transformed me at a deep level. Sometimes it's the smallest things that can plant a seed in us, and that's true of my own journey with gratitude. One little spark happened years ago when I heard a woman talking about how she was trying to see everything in her life as a gift instead of a burden. Like, instead of grumbling about doing the mounds of laundry, she decided to be grateful for her lovely children and husband who generated the laundry, be grateful for the laundry machine, and actually be grateful for the chance to show love and nurture to them in this way. Okay, at that point in my life, I did not feel that way about laundry, I'm just gonna say. But the other little spark was a story about a man in Bhutan who lived in a community that is, to our standards, horribly impoverished. But the people in that community are very, very happy. I read that this man was living in a makeshift home built from cardboard, tarps, plywood. And at one point, half of his house fell down. What did he have to say about the missing section? That they get a really nice breeze on that side. I want to live like that. And as I used my gratitude immersion practice, I did change. I stopped fighting with life so much, and I realized how amazing and sacred all of it is, how all of life is a gift if we're willing to see it for what it is, a constant opportunity to evolve spiritually, which is the only reason that we're here. Every moment is a chance to use the circumstances of our life to wake up to the truth of what we are. And we're actually always getting exactly the experiences that we need to wake up. Gratitude is universal and innate in us. We just want to nurture it so it can expand in us and transform us. Okay, Sue, I might need you. Yeah, not working. Okay, there goes that plan. Here we go. All things are in a state of silent rejoicing, that their consciousness is an experience of divinity. Unique to all things is a still, ever-present gratitude that it has been granted the gift of experiencing the presence of God. So to nurture this innate gratitude, we practice it primarily by looking for the gift in every moment of our lives. And I'll talk about that in a bit. But first I want to discuss how the practice itself rewards us with so many gifts. For example, Pema Chodron teaches that we can tell if we're in gratitude by the state of our heart. The heart expands and feels open, tender, and kind when we're in gratitude. If we're feeling resentful, fearful, jealous, our heart feels constricted, defensive, and tense. So by paying attention to the feeling tone of these two states, we can see more clearly which one we want to live in. Gratitude also rewards us with the gift of happiness, because if we're whining and complaining, we're obviously not feeling joyful or happy. But when we're praising and appreciating, our own happiness level naturally goes up. As Brother David Steindl-Rast says, it's not joy that makes us grateful, it's gratitude that makes us joyful. And Pema says we can actually use this use this truth to our spiritual benefit. She said, when we find ourselves grateful or glad for something, soak it for all it's worth. Really indulge yourself in enjoying the feeling fully. Get to know that gentleness, kindness, and peacefulness. When we do this, we're sowing seeds for our present and future happiness and peace. Gratitude is good for our physical well-being also. My former doctor in Kansas City shared that gratitude is a health hack most of us don't think about. But the truth is that gratitude can improve sleep, mood, and well-being. The reason that gratitude opens our heart and increases our joy is because gratitude's primary motivation is love. It's the way of the heart, and it's very, very close to the state of unconditional love. When we appreciate the beauty of nature or are grateful for the affection of our pets, it's love that we're feeling. As Dr. Hawkins says, lovingness is an attitude that transforms one's experience of the world. We become grateful for what we have instead of prideful. We express our lovingness when we acknowledge others and their contributions to life and to our convenience. Love is not an emotion, but a way of being in the world. And he says, next slide, Sue, even the simplest actions, such as peeling a potato, can be accompanied by resentment or by devotion to life out of joy. In gratitude for the gift of life, one dedicates that life back as a gift to God through selfless service. With this dedication, one validates the sacredness of all of life and treats it with respect. Gratitude works by changing our focus, where we put our attention. We have a choice in every moment whether to gather evidence of all the negative things in our lives, how bad things are, or how we're a victim, or we can choose through gratitude to gather evidence about things that are going well, things that are working, how we're loved and supported. For most of us, probably all of us, that's our first step in nurturing an attitude of gratitude, to look at those things that we call good and express gratitude for those. Yeah, but what about the challenges and the difficult people in our lives? Well, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, made it a practice every night to be grateful for the difficult people in his life. He did this because he knew it was those people who help us learn to remain patient, compassionate, and kind. So they grow us. There's a gift they give us by being difficult. There's a gift in all of our challenges, whether they're people or situations in our lives. My dad was a pilot in World War II, and he would say the worst thing for taking off in a seaplane is calm, smooth water. That kind of water acts as a suction on the plane. What you want is choppy water. That makes it easier for liftoff. This is like life. It's when the waters are choppy and life is churning a bit that we go within and ask more of ourselves, go deeper with our work. So we say thank you to the challenges in our life because even though it may not be something that we wanted, it's something that is needed for us to evolve. Sometimes to go down the wrong road is the only way to learn not to go down that road anymore. So we're actually grateful for the challenges as much as for the smooth sailing. Through gratitude, we learn that life is for us, and we can actually welcome in everything that arises in our life. As Rumi says in his poem, The Guest House, this being human is a guest house, every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Welcome and entertain them all. even if there are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Now, we notice in this poem that gratitude isn't about denial. We can admit something isn't pleasant that's happening, but we can also be willing to see it from a higher perspective, to trust God that there's something in it that we're meant to learn and grow from. Unity minister Reverend Darlene Strickland wrote a wonderful Facebook post on gratitude in the aftermath of the hurricane storms that hit North Carolina, where her church is located. It was called Gratitude and Grit. In short, feel all the feels and rest in a larger space of divine flow, trust, possibility, and belonging. Grit without gratitude can feel like survival. Gratitude without grit can feel like denial. Together, they form a necessary balance. A consciousness of gratitude is not about turning away from life's challenges, but turning toward life with an open heart. It allows us to embrace what is and open to all that is, in other words, divinity. Authentic gratitude arises when we honor all of our emotions and experiences and recognize them as part of the human experience. Gratitude then becomes a healing layer rather than a surface mask. Next slide, Sue. Gratitude is not about sugarcoating life, but about rooting in the awareness that even the hardest moments carry the seeds of healing, love, and transformation. Gratitude knows the light presence is always there, and that light presence is within you and there for you. Michael Singer, author of The Untethered Soul, agrees that the essence of gratitude isn't about being grateful for the exact content of what's going on or what we're witnessing. Some of it stinks. No, what we're grateful for is the privilege and gift of having this existence that includes the full spectrum of experiences, some challenging and hard, others joyful and exhilarating. As Dr. Hawkins also says, one is grateful for all experiences because you get the experiences that you need. You can't get from here to there without going through here. So that would explain why the world appears the way it does. It requires, to grow spiritually, opportunities which this world provides. So our gratitude comes from our very existence and from being given the precious opportunity to wake up, to realize the higher self. Not every soul is granted that privilege. As Buddha taught, rare it is to be born a human. More rare is to have heard of enlightenment, and rarest of all is to pursue it. When we understand this truth, that every single moment is a gift beyond measure, we can value it all when we realize that if we embrace it all, learn the lessons from it all, we will realize the self. This means that all of our life is our work. As Dr. Hawkins explains, spiritual work is pictured as studying a textbook, looking at a picture of a guru, and singing songs. It's as though we do not really see the essence of spiritual work. We do not see that the spiritual work itself brings up these acute crises, brings us into them, and that they're an opportunity. This is where spiritual work is happening. The other was preparation, deciding on direction, and accumulating spiritual knowledge. Sue? Then suddenly comes the moment of truth, the time to do it. Acute catastrophes are the times when we make great leaps, when we face them directly and fixedly say, I will not veer from this spiritual work. Now we're really confronted with truly spiritual work. These are the golden opportunities that are priceless if we see them that way. That which we read about in the books then becomes our own inner experience. Next slide, Sue. In other words, the upside of catastrophe can be an opening to a higher level of awareness. If life is viewed as a teacher, it then becomes just that. And then here's the thing. Unless the painful lessons of life with which we deal are thus transformed through humility into gateways to growth and development, they're wasted. They're wasted. Course in Miracles teacher Lisa Natoli writes, what if it's true what spiritual teachings say, that everything that's appearing in our lives as situations, events, problems, difficulties is here as a gift and as our teacher? What if everything is here to wake us up to our true nature of joy, peace, and harmony? What if there are no accidents in life? What if things aren't healing or improving because you haven't yet learned the lesson it came here to teach? Next slide, Sue. Rather than fighting with it or trying to get rid of it or change it, see it as a teacher here to show you something. Infinite intelligence doesn't ever make a mistake. Whatever's going on in your life is not an accident. It's here for you. Seeing everything as our teacher is how we use gratitude to interrupt the storyline, as Pema Chodron says it. Emotions need storylines to perpetuate. We have the choice to keep the storyline going or not. That's up to us. One way to interrupt the storyline is to use a practice taught by Mary Omwake, my former Unity minister back in Kansas City. She taught us to say, God, that's great, to everything. You get the job. God, that's great. You get a flat tire. God, that's great. Okay, so she admits we might not be able to say it joyfully or lightly at first. In fact, she shared a story about a time when she stood there watching her car burn with everything she owned in it. And she admits her first God, that's great, came through gritted teeth. God, that's great. But she said as she repeated it, it opened her up to recontextualizing what was happening. It opened her up to a place where she could trust God and trust what was happening and know it was always for her highest good. So it started with gritted teeth and ended in peace. Dr. Hudgens also teaches this. He says, if all life experiences are surrendered as they occur, they become transformed by gratitude into the miraculous and seen as gifts. This transformation is not within the province of the human will, but is a gift of the grace of God. So one of the most classic examples of the transformative power of gratitude is the story of the loaves and the fishes. When Jesus had the multitudes to feed and all he had were 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, he didn't sit there and complain about how little there was or express worry about whether it'd be enough. No, what did he do first? He thanked God for what he had. Now, in the linear world, we know that 5 loaves and 2 fish does not equal food for 5,000. But as Course in Miracles writer Pam Grout says, gratitude doesn't work in a linear fashion. It doesn't add up the same way as 2 plus 2. Because it works on many dimensions and because it's powered by love, it multiplies in a way that rationalists can't understand. Blessing some tiny fragment of a perceived problem causes it to magically transform. Quantum science actually corroborates this through the bizarre phenomenon called the observer effect, in which the act of observation alters the behavior of what's being observed. It collapses the wave into a particle. So we always have the choice to collapse the ain't it awful wave and stay in suffering, or we can collapse the gratitude wave and move into joy. So these teachings on gratitude have become much more real to me through my gratitude immersion practice. And if you're interested, Anne mentioned my book. I wrote 3 blogs about it and my experience with it, and they're in that book if you're interested, and it's in the bookstore. But the basis of the practice is the intention to find a way to be grateful for every single moment of our lives. So beginning when I wake up, I'm grateful for being alive, for my comfortable bed, for my wonderful husband, for my cats, that I have clean water to drink, food in the fridge, that I have a new granddaughter right around the corner. that I found my spiritual teacher, that I get to be a part of this amazing community. On and on it goes all through the day. Before I started, I certainly had not been in the habit of being that thankful for all those minute items, but those at least came easily. But what about things like the car alarm that goes off for an hour in the middle of the night? This practice isn't meant to take away our right to have preferences, like wanting quiet when we sleep. But it does challenge us to stay in a gratitude state of mind with the alarm blaring away. Maybe we use the disturbance to remember that we have a car that works. Maybe we can be grateful that we have the ability to hear. Maybe we'll just use it to be grateful that we have a gratitude practice so we don't have a meltdown. This is not a perfection contest. The effort is what matters, and I was confident it would get easier the longer I practiced, which it did. In the early days, I will admit that at times I experienced a kind of gratitude fatigue. I could hear thoughts in my head like, I'm not sure I can be thankful all the time, or how many times can I be thankful that I breathe? But it's important to just be okay with that. That's just mind chatter. Just let it go and go back to the practice. Some days I'm really in the gratitude flow. You know, some days I forget or it feels like it's on the back burner, but it does get easier with every day. And as I kept at the practice, wonderful things started happening in my mind and in my heart. I could feel the gratitude burrow in and become more of who I am. I started to see things to be grateful for all around me. I am now so much more tuned into the gifts in every moment. All the little things that used to just happen and not register with me, I see them now, I notice them, and appreciate the beauty, the joy, the sacredness of those little moments. How the waiter took such good care of us, how the breeze cools me on a hot day, how the driver was kind enough to let me into traffic. And this is the part that lets me know that this practice has had a transformative effect because it's truly become who I am. When the gratitude goes that deep, we're rewarded with yet another gift, the ability to live with confidence and joy instead of fear. Pam Grout says, by simply registering our connection to this bigger thing, this undeniable, unchanging presence, we start to notice a deeper truth, an eternal broadcast airing its joyful melody beneath the static. The real power is in not thinking, forget thinking, and start thanking. And I mean thanking everything, the bills that are stacking up, the doctor's report you weren't expecting. When we practice this kind of ferocious gratitude, we come to realize that all the striving, the endless struggle is unnecessary. In truth, it's counterproductive and actually blocks the energy field that is and always has been available to sustain and guide us. And in another place, she writes, fear is the only thing that can ever get in the way of this non-stop loving care. Worry, disbelief, and all its mean girl cousins can block the awareness, but it's never not available. Once you come to trust this fact, your whole life changes. You know that everything you could ever need will be rolled out before you like a gorgeous Persian carpet. So gratitude offers us a way to walk through life like that, open-hearted, relaxed, at peace, knowing there's a divine order and unseen support, always working for our highest good. As we say here every Sunday, wherever I am, God is, and all is well. This last quote, Sue, is from a brother at Plum Village, and it really expresses it beautifully. He says, lately I feel like gratitude is simple, but it can also be something immense. I feel like there are no limits to the space it can open up in my heart. I would say that when I'm living with gratitude, I'm going through life holding God's hand. I love that. For me, that means all of life is right here, complete and perfect already. I don't need to fear anymore. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere. And every thought's indeed a prayer.
Take that into meditation time. Take a deep breath. Release it. Get comfortable in your seat. You can close your eyes if you like. So let's begin by feeling grateful for being right here, right now, in this incredibly beautiful space of such love and light. We just allow ourselves to really appreciate this moment fully, to feel the blessing of it and the quiet joy. Now let's feel grateful for our own bodies, the breath, the heart beating, all the systems in the body that keep us alive. Those are gifts to us, and we appreciate all that the body does through a typical day. The body lets us hug someone, hold hands, pat someone on the back, dance with joy. Just rest in that gratitude and appreciation for a moment. Next, let's bring to mind the people in our life, friends, family, how they love us and support us and bring joy into our life. We just open our hearts to the love that we're privileged to give and receive through them. Now, just for a moment, we can think of the people or situations that are more challenging to us. Is there some way to see that the way they challenge us has grown us, brought some gifts into our life? We don't have to struggle with it. Just be open to that possibility just for a moment. And finally, let's just rest in the expansion of the feeling of gratitude for the gift of this precious life, the gift of this spiritual path, for the experience of the presence, of being a witness to the divinity and sacredness in everything. These are the rarest of all gifts, according to Buddha. We are so blessed. And now, taking a deep breath, return to the room and the present moment, and you can slowly open your eyes.
May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forever. forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
Wowie, wonderful. Yeah. How many of you are grateful for Courtney? It's unanimous. Yes. You know, many people might think that we must have about 20 ministers in this congregation. They watch us on YouTube and there's a different minister every week. Yes, we have 20 ministers at least. And thank you, Courtney, for ministering to us today. It's undeniable. You are a loving, loving presence of the divine. And thank you. So let's have our ushers come forward. And it's time in our service to express our gratitude in a tangible way. Because what we do is when we're grateful, we give. We give from our hearts, not out of obligation. So let's just hold that offering in our hands gently with gratitude. And then let's bless it with the words on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Well, you challenged me, so we'll see.
The flute has some extra little nuances to it, so I'll stick to guitar. I said, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I said, this little light of mine, I said, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, oh let it shine. I said, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, oh let it shine. I said, oh, one more, let it shine, let it shine, oh let it shine. Oh my gosh, is that little Owen walking down the aisle? Oh my gosh, he's taking steps
We
now.
won't worry about that right this second. We won't worry about that. We'll worry about that. Well, good morning. It's been a fun morning. This has been a lot of fun this morning. We've had a good group. Kai, you want to talk about what the little ones did today?
So we tried reading the Very Hungry Caterpillar, but none of them were really in the mood. So we decided to play a little bit. Priya, we drew a little bit about like sea creatures, and we played with some trucks, and then we went outside to enjoy the sunshine and maybe catch a hungry caterpillar.
And our elementary today, as I said a couple of months ago, 2025, we're going to be doing the 12 powers of Charles Fillmore. Our first 2 powers that we did were faith and imagination. And the kids are going to tell you about what we did today. Who wants to start? David, want to start with that?
I'll start.
We talked about power, and power is the ability to act and to release good into the world. And we also talked about courage, which is the heart as the seat of intelligence, and it's the mind or spirit expressed. We also talked about confidence, which is the state of one who confides, trust, and reliance and belief.
Okay, can somebody discuss how those 3 things work together? If we know we have the innate power, what does that do? That helps us find. It helps us find what? The courage? Is that what we talked about? We did talk about this. Yeah, and once we gain that courage within ourselves, then we have the. In other words, hush, Nancy. Just let me do my thing. Right. Then we have the confidence. Right. Was that how we talked about it today?
Yeah.
All right. Then what did we do?
We chose cards about, that has to do with the topic of what we talked about today. And mine was, the more I focus my mind on the good in my life, the more good comes into my life. And an example of that would be, if I observe the nice people around me, then I come to realize that that I am nice within.
My card is I radiate positive energy from my being.
Mine is I am on the right path, and I trust that things are moving in my favor. So basically, I feel that I'm going on the right path, that I know that I'm on the right path, and yeah.
Happy.
Thank you.
Okay, Joellen, want to come forward here and let your light shine before this group?
It is March, and Megan's the first one up here for birthday Sunday of the month. Come on up if you have a birthday this month. We want to sing you to you. Hey, Beth. All right.
Just two? Really? Three. Okay.
Do we have four?
Okay, would you please tell us your name and the day of the month that you were born?
Good morning, I'm Megan. My birthday is March 5th.
I'm Beth, and 21st, first day of spring.
I'm Tori, and March 10th.
Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear beloveds. Happy birthday to you. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo.
So I guess we're going to call this party to a conclusion today. We're going to circle up and express gratitude to each other, okay? So thank you for being here today, and thank you if you're online for being one of our viewers. So let's go ahead with the prayer of protection and the peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.